and today we are discussing, is it rational to believe that level is horizontal and believe that the Earth is a globe? So, good morning, welcome. Today we have, discussing this topic, we have Bebby. He has a PhD and a qualification in theology. He used to be a teacher. He is a published writer and is on his third book, which tackles rationality and so forth.
I'm thinking we can leave it here because we have a definition of level as meaning. Its very meaning is a level plane. A level surface is a horizontal surface. So it's entirely rational. In fact, it would be irrational to disbelieve that level was horizontal under that definition. We have the proposition the Earth is a globe, which you said means global. The Earth is global. The Earth is the Earth, which is also under that meaning rational to believe. It's analytically true under that definition. So we're all agreed. I can go, yeah? There is something intermediate between the Earth as a globe and level as horizontal. And that's the question of whether all verticals are parallel. The question is, are all verticals parallel? Is that implied by the proposition all level surfaces are horizontal surfaces? In fact, simplified, is it rational to believe that the Earth is a globe, i.e. spherical, and believe that all verticals are parallel? Yeah, our house, we recently had some plans produced, but they in no way match the actual shape of the house because it's 200 years old. And there are no level and no perpendicular sort of parts of our house at all.
You don't understand.
All verticals are parallel.
You don't understand.
All verticals are parallel.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
There's also a connection between the common belief that the Earth is a globe, i.e. the Earth is a sphere, and the belief about verticals, because if you look, anyone who looks at a globe, i.e. something that represents the spherical shape of the Earth, must surely be recognizing that a vertical in one place cannot be parallel to a vertical in another place. So, excuse me, the question is it rational to believe the first two propositions we talked about, level is horizontal and the Earth is spherical, and also believe that all verticals are parallel? All perpendiculars to that plane will be parallel to one another, from which it logically and geometrically follows that the plane, from which it logically and geometrically follows,
You don't understand.
all verticals are parallel.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
I said it was irrational to believe both. That is all. It is irrational to believe that the Earth is a globe, i.e. spherical in shape or approximately spherical. I've said this about the fifth time. And to believe that level is horizontal.
I would agree with that, yes. It is irrational.
So if you believe that level is horizontal and you're a rational being, you'll disbelieve that the Earth is spherical in shape, correct?
What if you could prove that level is horizontal?
If you can prove that level is horizontal,
Yes.
then you can prove that the Earth is not a globe, or is not spherical in shape.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to get to. And if you can prove that the Earth, contrary-wise, you can prove that the Earth is a globe, you can prove that level is not
You
horizontal,
don't understand.
from which it logically and geometrically follows
You don't understand.
all verticals are parallel.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
That the Earth is spherical in shape. I.e., it cannot both be true that level is horizontal and that the Earth is spherical in shape. That was all I wanted to establish, that those two propositions are not consistent with each other. They cannot both be true.
No worries.
They cannot both be true.
You're just on your own. No reason, no logic, no answers to questions.
They cannot both be true.
You're just on your own.
It can't be done. No one can model it. I will pay money if someone actually successfully models this in CAD with a ball and the two logos above it that matches the elevation profiles that have been given by Lago.
But for those people that have level being horizontal and they live on the globe, like in reality, those people like me, that have a reality globe and level is horizontal, are you saying that I'm irrational? Because I don't consider myself as being irrational.
No, did I say you were irrational? I just said it was irrational to believe both of those propositions could be both true at the same time.
Yeah, that's why I don't sphericalize my reality. I don't see a need to.
Yeah, there's probably no point continuing because we are totally agreed on this. And with Mike, I hope that those two propositions, that level is horizontal and that the Earth is a globe, i.e. spherical in shape, those propositions can't both be true. One of them has to be true. If one is true, the other is false. And if the other is true, the one is false. That's all. That's all I wanted to talk about.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, we are agreed. Equipotential means vertical everywhere.
Yes.
And we then have the question of whether all such verticals are parallel to one another or not. That's the question. And then you have to reconcile that to the proposition the Earth is a globe.
Are all perpendiculars to a horizontal line? Are they parallel?
All perpendiculars to a horizontal line, i.e. a horizontal plane surface, yes, are parallel. The question is whether
all of the right angles to an equipotential surface, are they all parallel?
Well, that's the question. That is precisely the question.
You don't understand.
Of whether equipotential surface
You
means
don't understand.
of whether equipotential surface means horizontal.
It's not my problem.
Why, you got
if you
it.
don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Of whether equipotential surface means horizontal surface. Why, you've got it. Let's tidy that up. Equipotential surface is one where every perpendicular to that surface at that point is a vertical, right? That does not necessarily imply that all verticals are parallel, does it? But, let me finish here. If you believe that the Earth is a globe, you have a conception of vertical at any point on that globe, that sphere, then you cannot believe that all verticals are parallel. Anyone who believes that the Earth is a globe, a sphere, must believe that no verticals are parallel at all.
You don't understand.
No verticals are parallel at all.
You don't understand.
No verticals are parallel at all.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Dogmatically. Yeah, I don't understand that, but let's not go there.
Well, because everything that you know about it is dogmatic, right? That's why we call it the dogmatic globe. You don't actually have any proof. And the dogmatic globe is the one that's telling you that it's not rational to believe that level is horizontal. Depends on which side of the thing you are. Is it rational to believe that level's horizontal?
Is it rational to believe that all verticals are parallel?
Yeah. I bet if you went out there and asked 99% of the people, they'd say, yeah, of course not.
All verticals are parallel.
Yeah. Why
Then
do you
how
think
can
it's
we
not
hold-
rational to believe that all verticals are
You
parallel?
don't understand.
But then how can they hold that thought in their minds with the thought that the parallel, they're looking at a model of the globe.
It's not my problem if you don't want
I don't think that they do. They don't relate it to reality, do they?
Don't interrupt. Let me finish. They are looking at globe model.
no reason, no logic, no wisdom, no
Let me finish. They are looking at globe model.
You're just on your own. No reason, no logic, no answers to questions. You're just on your own.
They are looking at globe model.
That vertical lines in a vertical plane are perpendicular to a horizontal plane and thus parallel to each other.
Correct.
And we are live. Welcome everyone. This is for day 1, 2 of telling them to go and stuff themselves with a stupid fucking ridiculous thing. We've had a crazy dude in today. I thought he was a bit deranged, really. We had to ban him. Crazy people. It's all about straight line. Like the latest one, I think it was started by Flat Earth Math and Blue Marble Science the other day, that straight lines aren't actually straight. I think what they're trying to say is that straight lines are within the mind of the dogmatic globe believers, and geometry is a different sort of straight. You might be getting confused with what you know straight to be. But is that Rob?
Good afternoon.
All right, Rob. Sounds like you've got a dog.
Good afternoon.
I'm not going to be around too much today because it's a pretty nice day for a sunset. So I'm going to be shooting off at about 9 o'clock. So we're just going to be doing a 1 hour. But we will still be going on live in the Discord. So it's going to be an hour, and then I'll be going out and we could be going out and filming a sunset. But it will still be on in the Discord. So if you want to carry on listening, whatever, come into the Discord. I just won't be able to go live on YouTube. Obviously, filming the sunset. We'll get the drone out as well. So, shortish show today. Talking about the madness that's setting in. Straight is slightly different than what you imagine, and it depends whether you know about the globe model, if you know about the intricacies that have to go on within the globe model, whether you are aware of this change of the straight line. It's going to be new dogma. It's going to be built into the argument within this arena, which is one of the reasons I'm glad to get out, really, to be honest. I think we need to make people more aware of this dogmatic globe. I call it a religion. It is a religion. They're the most faithful group of people that I know. They're not Christians. They're not Muslims or anything. They're dogmatic globe believers. Everybody knows 'tis globe, but this particular group of people are absolutely crazy. And I'm not so sure whether anybody is aware, really, of the depth of the hardcore dogmatic globe faithful, because they have taken themselves, I'm going to say, to the brink of madness. Some of them are probably clinically insane. And that's what we seem to be getting a lot more of now. I was talking today, right? It's getting that bad that I'm not so sure whether the videos should be put out, because these people are delusional. I don't personally want to laugh at insane people, and I think that's what's occurring. So if there is anybody out there that is, and I'm being serious, if there's anybody out there that's doing some sort of a psychology course or whatever, get in touch. If nobody does get in touch, I'm going to go and look for somebody myself to have a word with about the psychotic behavior of some of these people. It's very strange, and they've got it into their heads that we are different than what we are. Like everybody just lives in reality, and that's all we've ever been talking about. Proofs in reality, realizing Euclid, showing people the foundations of mathematics and how that relates to reality, breaking it down to the advanced simplicity, first principles, basically making everything as simple as possible for people to hopefully get a grip of stuff that they perhaps weren't told while they were in the education system. Adult learning, if you will. There seems to be a hardcore group of people that want to gaslight and obfuscate those very simple facts. And the conversation, seriously, after yesterday, did 1,000 videos, said that, like, I've had enough of it. Well, we've had some crazy people coming in. I don't really know what the idea is. Just people saying that you can't have a straight line. In reality, he said it multiple times today. There's no such thing as a straight line.
What about plumb bob?
He said that's the plumb bobs. Plumb is not vertical.
Okay, but it is straight line, I think.
Yeah, he said no, you can't have straight lines.
Can't, because straight lines are not something that you can have in reality. One-dimensional.
It was some of the craziest stuff. They're literally going mad. And I can't understand why. Really, other than the fact that we say all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, if they are, all horizontals are parallel. So the statement that the horizon is horizontal and all horizontals are parallel seems to be the major contributing factor to people now saying there's no such thing as straight lines. Madness. But hey, they've got people in to send in to do this sort of a job, right? Delusional people. It takes a certain sort of person to be able to sit in a Discord server for like 4 hours telling people that straight lines don't exist. And honestly, I don't know how to react. The first time I did the debate with Fight the Flat Earth, he said that non-Euclidean geometry was the reason that straight lines curved. But surely, with a straight line curving one way or curving the other way, the midpoint is a straight line. But they don't even have that. They don't even have the possibility of there being a straight line, which goes against the founding of a circle, which gives you a curve. You can't even have circles, so you can't really have curves. You don't have straight lines. I'm not so sure they're aware of that. Anyway, I mean, this is the mental conditions of a group of people who haven't been the kindest, and they don't really have any interest in this particular server. And like we said, we're leaving them behind. They are going to keep coming to try and convince us of their lunacy. But I don't know. It's very, I keep saying very strange behaviour, but we've become accustomed to it. When people say that we've had, they've told us a lot of things. Well, honestly, I don't think people realise the amount of conversations that we've had around level, horizontal, geometry, basic fundamentals of mathematics. Literally, I don't think anybody else has ever focused on that sort of conversation as much as we have. And it's not always us engaging. We don't start these conversations. People come to us with these conversations. This is the place that people come to practice sophistry around straight lines with a zero understanding of geometric principles that derive the understanding of straight lines. The strangest behaviour I've ever witnessed in 4 years' time is this, the bit that we're in right now. And it always goes the same. You can tell the certain people that have been obsessed with us have messed up badly, like really badly. And there's only a few of them left. The rest have gone off to hiding. I think there's going to be quite a few Jesse Kozlowskis occurring within this arena. They're already bringing new people in, new blood. All of the old guys are trying to come back again. But I think they realise now.
Like 50.
They've got no arguments. They know they've got no arguments. And they now know that we know they've got no arguments, right? Because we're the ones that have told this to them. And they're realizing that we actually do have arguments. There are arguments and proofs within reality that this arena seems to have completely forgot about. Well, this is reality. The models have gone. They don't exist anymore. It's just not flat. And the dogmatic globe, well, that's delusional boomers that now are forced into the position of not knowing what a straight line is. Because if you have the understanding of a straight line, the geometric understanding of the traditional straight line, the ones that make squares and triangles and circles, those straight lines, they have to go. Because there's a geometric argument that should have been around. Well, it has always been around. Just people don't see arguments that are right in front of their faces because they've been told to look away. Well, we're here to point out that reality states that there are geometric principles built around a straight line. And you can't just ignore it. You can't just give up straight lines, because that's a lot harder to do than I think anybody realizes. That the straight line is so fundamental within the understanding of mathematics that you can't get rid of a straight line. But they're going to try. And they're going to gaslight people. I think the members only video on Nathan's channel about both should be available. I hope so, Paige. We might have a go at that later. What time does he do? Does he do like a 9 o'clock in the evening one? Because we might be able to go over that when we come back, if he has. I hope so.
Yeah, if I may, Bev, you said earlier that you, let's say, predict that they will keep coming around to prove to us their lunacy. Well, I just want to say that you don't have to come around here anymore, guys. We're all fairly convinced of your lunacy already.
Yeah. Yeah, but they still do have to come round. I mean, you heard most of that today, did you? With the...
I did hear some of it, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was the first guy to ever gaslight me in here, like a month after I came into the server.
Yeah.
It was crazy to see him come back. It's been, what, 3 years?
Yeah, I can't imagine why he came back. Literally came back today to, I don't know, do that with the straight line. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like throwing shade on Euclid. Like I couldn't wrap my head. Like I kind of get what, like when he's saying the plane doesn't exist because it's 2D. It's like the first 10 books are like a conceptual, but that's the thing. Like you're building a framework in your mind of how to correctly do geometry so that when you do it practically, that framework of those proof on proof on proofs, when you go to do something hands-on, you're going to have a correct framework to work from. And it's like, I don't know if he would agree to that. I wanted to ask, but it was like, I just didn't want to get caught up in a shitstorm of, back and forth. But that's what Euclidean geometry is. It's building that framework, proof on proof on proof, so that when you have that in place, that understanding of how it works, building, art, like all of that stuff, you just have this critical thinking logic skill that allows you to do build masterpieces or do surveying correctly.
Well, from what we know, like literally from what we know, you cannot measure a curve because you need 2 points. You need to reference one point to another point, and that's every time always a straight line. So for somebody to come along and say, not that, like Flat Earth Math said the other day, right? People that aren't aware of the dogmatic globe model, they aren't aware of this other straight that you have to place in your mind to replace the traditional straight. So it's almost as if it's some sort of an infection that takes away your natural state of thought and replaces with a dogmatic belief that you just have to have faith in, because like it literally is impossible to measure a curve. You need a straight line.
Measure a curve.
I think.
Yes. And a wheel. If you have
that
a
relationship
radius
between-
leg and a wheel, you can. I'm sorry.
No,
I cut you
couldn't.
off.
No, that was me. Go ahead.
I was just saying, if you had one of the measuring wheels, you know the measuring wheels that you walk with.
Yeah.
If you attach that to a beam as a radius beam, you could measure the circumference of a circle with the wheel. No,
Well, I don't know. You can. You need the straight line to
I'd
be
have to
able
draw you a
measure
picture.
anything.
I'll show you guys. Yes.
Because you know relationship with diameter. That's why you can say that you can measure curve because of this proportion. Without this proportion, you cannot measure any curve.
Yeah, any measurement. We were saying that to him today, that any measurement like 1 mile, 1 meter, 1 inch, they're all straight line, right? You immediately relate those to a unit, a straight line unit, and that mathematically, fundamentally, is the unit circle that derives just about all of mathematics. The idea of the unit goes to the straight line unit. It's all the same thing. Yeah, it's going to get tough because this group of people literally going to be gaslighting people about that very straight line. I mean, I know it's 2023, but this is going to get tough for a lot of people. Like, I've hopefully prepared everyone for how bad it's going to get. But when I say people are going to be going mad, I really mean it. You start messing about with your fundamental understanding of what straight is. I mean, yeah, I guess, I know it's 2023 and, you know, all sorts of things are allowable, but you can't cut out straight. You can't just remove it.
It's like a straight line. It's not like something that you just say this is what it is and therefore it is what it is because I said so. That's not how it works. It's like you said earlier, the straight line is actually logically derived. It's an understanding of the shortest distance between 2 points. It's not just whatever you say it is.
Yeah, there is a reasoning element. Like whenever you go through Euclid, it specifically says, do not move on to the next part until you've totally understood. And you start off at the bit before it. You start off with the definitions. So you need to know fundamentally what a straight line is to start off with. And these guys are just saying, not that. Right at the beginning. And it's needed because they need to be able to do this placing of the sphere back in the plane, the length times breadth. They haven't really looked into the fundamentals of how it works, but they have a conceptual idea that somebody's told them that there was a problem or something within geometry and that some dude fixed their understanding of how this problem works. Well, the problem wasn't a problem. It's about triangles and where straight lines are formed when 3 lines meet each other. And there is a position where a no triangle is formed. And that's the bit that people have obsessed about. Specifically, because the geometric relationship of knowing that no triangle is formed means that you can absolutely be certain that the right angle is involved. And that's the bit that these people don't really like, because that's the straight line. That's the perpendicular. Perpendicular is the straight line relationship that it's just crazy that they want to give that up for a dogmatic model because they're forced into it.
It's very strange how they want to take it to 2D, because Euclid obviously goes forth into 3D in book 11, which has been mentioned here many times, of course. But I want to take it a step further in how the propositions themselves are divided within the book. You have two kinds of propositions. You have theorema and problema, which are very different in terms of like what they are. A theorema is something, it's actually just a logical argument which you can deduce the conclusion to, while a problema is an actual geometric construction that you physically have to go through with and do, and then prove that you actually did it according to the propositional wording. It's something you have to practically do. And going into 3D in book 11, you still have problema, aka propositions that where you have to physically do something geometrically. So when they say you can't relate this to reality, it's just a double whopper. It makes no sense, considering the book goes into 3D and there are constructions that you have to do in 3D. The proofs are in reality.
Yeah, that was one of the strangest things that, he was saying, that mathematics holds true within the mathematical realm, but you couldn't relate it to reality. He didn't seem to realize that the demonstration of the problems is actually done in reality, right? All of the books, all of the writings, all of the proofs that come from it have to be done in reality. You can't mentally do them. You can't do them in the mathematical realm. The reasoning process takes place there, but the actual demonstration of these things, they're all done in reality.
Mm-hmm.
To remove it from reality and put it in a separate place is to, I don't know what. And like we say, this sort of stuff that we do is some of the most basic. It's not something that, is far beyond anybody mathematically. It's literally the most basic stuff. This is how you learn, or how you should learn mathematics, I think. From the fundamentals, you learn the basics. And just understand the basics with no trickery, right? There's nothing that anybody wouldn't be able to understand. We don't even need to go as far as Proposition 5. These are definitions, really, and the understanding of how definitions work. It's the trivium, really, and the ability to communicate these basic facts seems to be missing, and it seems to have ended up with a group of, I don't know how old these people are meant to be, or why they have derived some sort of a dogmatic model, and they've allowed a dogmatic model to take over their reasoning. It's very strange. Very, very, very strange. But fascinating in the same way. What we're going to be doing is developing these arguments. I'm going to make some videos to make some simple arguments. Now, these simple arguments have already been done. Most people understand them. But in order to reach a bigger audience, we're going to find the best way to bring these arguments and put them into video form. Now, these arguments are based on syllogisms, which is just a basic statement with a conclusion. Two statements and then a conclusion. Very easy to understand. Hopefully we're going to be compiling a list of these arguments and the forms of argument. It should be tricky for anybody to deal with these, and the point of the argument is that you don't really need people to argue against them. The arguments are the statements that can be discussed. They're not, they don't need people in opposition to them. In fact, it's much better if you can come to a common agreement within the argument to refine the argument to make it more precise, make it a better argument, rather than people battling, trying to tear arguments down with non-arguments. So that's the direction that we're going to be going with. I'm hoping that we can do a reading and go over some trivium. I would really like to do that. The education part of it is what interests me, and learning how we got here, the history of I don't know what to call it, the history of philosophy, but I mean it's the history of how we particularly have got here to a position in life, right, in civilization, where people are giving up straight lines. Needs to be studied. What makes people want to give up straight lines for the need to win some sort of a non-argument? People have got to be lost. There's got to be people wondering what they're doing. I know I do. I don't know what I'm meant to be doing. Not got a clue. I've got no model to start off with. Who still in here? Brian. What's Brian talking about? Does anyone know what Brian's talking about? He's not even in here, is he? Right. Sorry, Brian, I don't understand what you're talking about or who he is. So, rather than going mad and joining everybody within this arena, time to step back and take a look inwards at the arena from the outside, to imagine what it's like to be somebody coming into this arena. Just a normal person, curious. It's like they might have heard some discussion somewhere or something on TikTok, whatever, and they type it in. I want to go and I wonder what there is going on about the shape of the earth. What sort of arena would you end up in? Which Discord server? Like, you know, like, when people type that, do they put, right, I'm after some proof of globe? Right? Because I'm not a flat earther. So, you know, globe proofs. Who's that? Where are that? Where do I go to find all of the globe proofs? Is that what people do when they're on the internet? Because I don't think there's a lot of you know, globe servers that talk about globe proofs. I've never seen any anyway. If there is anybody, anybody knows of any, you know, hardcore adult globe servers, or, you know, like where do all of the top globe people go? Where do they hang out? You know, like if there's a skateboarding or surfing or photography, where's the Globe Expert server? Where are they all?
You mean Global Troll Association?
No, I mean the actual, you know, Globe. The Globe HQ. The council. The ones that keep all of the globe proofs. The evidence mountains. You know, there must be a storage place for all of the evidences that they have. There's mountains of them. Does anyone know where they are? I'm not too sure. I mean, we do live in reality, right? We've got some proofs of reality. So I'm wondering whether we could show these globe earthers or flat earthers, doesn't really matter, about these proofs of reality that we have. I'm wondering why they end up saying that straight lines don't exist when we attempt to show them about these just basic proofs in reality. Some arguments from reality.
They don't live in reality.
We all live in reality. It's not fair to say that they don't live in reality, right? Their minds may be broken, but they do actually live in reality. I mean, they do say that there's no such thing as a straight line in reality, but I mean, we do live in the same reality. It's just that they have a disturbed belief that straight lines are somehow different if you hold a dogmatic belief about a model. It's always
By the way,
go on, sorry. Go on.
by the way, definition of straight line is not arbitrary. So globers or globe proponents or whatever they call themselves, they cannot say that this is an arbitrary definition, therefore we can change. But straight line is, this name straight is in contradiction to curve, and we know what it is, and that's why we call it straight. This is a posteriori definition. So we know before we name something straight, before that we have to know what straight is to call it straight. So for example, if I can see straight ruler, I can judge if it is straight or not by looking at that. And okay, if I see that this is straight, I know already what it is, and I can say that this ruler is straight. So it is not arbitrary definition. Like, for example, definition for unicorns or reptilians or whatever. No, it is derived from reality, physical reality. So it cannot be changed on the fly, at will. So that's why their proposition to change definition of straight line is just unreal, cannot be done in this reality. And we live only in one reality. There is no other reality.
Well, they have convinced themselves that there is a non-Euclidean, like Fight the Flat Earth has told them that there is non-Euclidean. So obviously they believe anything that he says.
Okay, but still, we have Euclidean geometry, and by means of Euclidean geometry, we can describe physical reality. So the question is, what non-Euclidean geometry is describing in reality. For me, it cannot describe anything. Therefore, it is unreal. It can only describe some unreal model, for example, maybe. But there are many gaps within this description. But in reality, you cannot describe reality by using non-Euclidean geometry. Sorry.
Well, they've been told that they can. They can have both. The diletheism axiom has been freely granted to them by consensus, I think. Consensus and super chats. A lot of pressing ones to agree and that sort of stuff.
Okay, if you are talking about convincing themselves, but this is psychological issue. This is not logical. In logic, you cannot just turn straight line into something else or vice versa because you like it. It doesn't work that way. Reality is objective. It doesn't change straight lines into curves and curves into straight lines because someone wants it. It will not happen. I don't understand that the kind of people. So what it means that they are convinced? It means nothing. Someone, for example, in hospital, mental hospital, can say that he is Napoleon or he is, I don't know, Wellington or whatever, and he is convinced that he is that person. It doesn't change fact that he is not. Same with this non-Euclidean geometry, I guess.
Yeah, I think you need to understand Euclidean in order to know what not Euclidean is, and I think that's one of the big problems.
Yes, this is logical problem because to negate something, you need to have this something first. So if you want to say that something is not white, you need to know what white is. Because if you don't know what white is, you cannot negate it. Because you don't know what you are negating. Same with a straight line, for example. You cannot deny straight line if you don't know what straight line is. And in this non-Euclidean geometry, there is no definition of straight line, really. So if they are trying to deny it, they don't know what they are denying. This is just illogical nonsense.
Well, that's where we've come to. It's 2023. We're in an arena where we just really want, people to acknowledge reality and the basics, the simple parts of reality, the fundamentals. And here we are making a group of people basically deny reality and have to deny reality.
Denying reality is symptom of a serious mental issue. So,
yeah, when a dogma can make you do that, then you're in trouble. And I don't want to be causing people to go into madness, but I don't know, we were discussing it the other day. Like we do know that reality is Euclidean, right? You can describe things in reality with the use of a straight line. These new science people, the blue marble scientists, want to take that ability away of using straight lines. Somebody telling you that you don't know what a straight line is. And if you're unaware of a model, then...
But I'm sorry, we know what straight line is.
Yeah.
So maybe they are trying to convince us that we don't know because they don't know. But it doesn't work that way, at least for me.
I think they've been led under the weight of an obvious basic argument from the fundamentals of mathematics and reality, obviously. They've been led into a position where they cannot have a straight line. Well, that just goes to show you how strong the argument is. If you can make people deny a straight line in reality.
But you can create modus ponens using PlugMod. So modus ponens at hand every time. So this is just nonsensical. Denying straight line is nonsensical because you can't provide modus ponens immediately.
They just deny modus ponens. They deny the if. They say there's a problem with the if statement, which I know that's affirming the antecedent is a modus ponens, but they can't get around that if. It gives them an automatic out for them to be able to argue an if.
Yes, if this is condition. So if you are fulfilling condition, it means you are making it real. So maybe this is the problem, that you can make this conditional if real. And if this conditional if is already real, it is no longer if, because it is real.
Well, yeah, we had it all today. Crazy, just crazy people. There's no real reason to give them any other identifier other than just mad. So if anybody wants to come into the Discord, I'm going to have to get off and sort of pack up, ready to go and get this sunset sorted. So come on into the Discord. I'm going to be shutting off here now. I'm going to go out, film the sunset, but we will still be in the Discord. And whoever RP smashes, like, you seem like a very clever guy.
Adam Morgana?
Hopefully, fingers crossed. We don't know. Maybe the wind's a little bit too high. But we're still trying to work out the exact conditions that are most favourable for it. You never know. Oh, RP Smash, come on into Discord. Have a chat with the guys. We've heard all of the crazy people today. May as well come in and talk about some more crazy shit. You seem very knowledgeable. We were told today that a plumb bob isn't straight. Like, you can't have straight. There's no such thing as straight in reality. So plumb bobs can't be vertical. And obviously you can't have a horizontal either. So come on into Discord. I don't know whether we can do a buster. I guess I can. I'll do a song. Anybody got any requests for a buster? I'll do a quick one. I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I tried to get it yesterday. It shysted me.
Which one?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, which one?
The Machine Man.
Oh, I can do that one. I've got that.
The one with the Charlie Chaplin. Please.
The greatest speech. Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Buster.
Yeah. Everybody come into Discord. This will be shutting off on the YouTube, but as always, the show will go on. We're still in Discord, so come in and have a chat. See you tomorrow. Hopefully trivium stuff tomorrow. Back to the beginnings of teaching, understanding. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Let us fight to free the world. Let us all unite. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. Let us fight to free the world. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You are men. Let us fight to free the world. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. A decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite. Let us fight to free the world. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. You, the people, have the power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight to free the world. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all